Hi everyone, it's Dina, and I'm back today with another unboxing and a short tutorial at the end. Today I'm going to unbox the Double Rainbow Design Challenge Kit that is released by Softflex Company. It'll be released on February the 26th, and you'll probably be seeing this video on February 27th. So that way it has plenty of time for the Softflex Company to release their products first. So I'm extremely excited about this because I love rainbows. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been just fascinated by every time we get a rainstorm here in the Houston area and it started to get sunny again, I would run outside and I would look to see if I could find a rainbow. So I have always loved rainbows, so I'm extremely excited to open this one up and see what is in the contents of it. So first off, we're going to, here's the kit right here. First off, we're going to go through the strand that came with the kit, that goes along with the kit, as soon as I can find my wire cutters or scissors of some sort. Then we're going to get this off the strand, and we're going to look at this real quick. Yeah, that should cut off. Yay, it did. And we're going to see what is on the strand. And then I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for a tutorial just yet, but I will figure that out at probably when I open up the kit itself. I'll figure out what all is in there, and then I'll probably come up with something as a design, and then I will make that design, get it all together, and tell you what all I'm going to use, and if I'm going to be using anything extra. And of course, I'm sorting out the beads as I'm talking to you, so that way you're not having to just watch me sort the beads. I can also be talking as well. So I'm not quite sure exactly what type of design I'm going to do just yet, other than it's more than likely going to be a pair of earrings, just because earrings are quick, easy, a little bit, usually don't take up as much time and everything to do. So now that I've got everything sorted off the strand, this was our focal bead, which is so neat. It's so intricate. It's got the rainbow there, and it's got a bunch of crystals around the edges of it. Sometimes it looks like some of the crystals are kind of coming off a little bit, but that is okay. You can always put them off to the side and we can fix it later too. Not a big deal whatsoever. Then you've got a couple of smaller crystal balls. And these are very lightweight. They feel to be acrylic, and then they've got flat back rhinestones that are glued to around the edge of it. So that way you're able to see, I don't know why it's trying to focus on that. There we go. That way you're able to see all the different color rainbows that are coming through. So you've got two of those. Then you've got smaller little beads. These feel like they are probably clay, maybe plastic, but they're very lightweight as well, and both of them are slightly different than the other. It's got all different colors on it. That one kind of reminds me of something you would see at a circus, like a circus ball or something. I don't know, just something you would see there. That's just what it reminds me of. Then you've got these two crystals. These are quite large. They are clear. It's a clear crystal, but it is faceted, so it gives off all sorts of different sparkles. And then the hole goes down the top part to down towards the bottom part. So you've got two of those. You've got two squares. And the squares look to be probably an AB finish. Every once in a while I see a little bit more of a color. I see a little bit of yellow in this one, and sometimes I see a pink flash through, so it probably has an AB finish. But they're just square beads, and they just go down the center. The hole goes down the center. You have two more little rhinestone beads. These are very similar to the other beads, to these larger ones. Whoa, focus, to these larger ones over here off to the side, except they're smaller, and these have just rhinestones that are an AB finish that are glued to them. And there again, it looks like it's probably a clay, and then these are glued on top of the clay. And then we get into some rondelles. Here's some smaller rondelles. These have just a crystal in the center of them. And then you have larger rondelles that have a crystal AB as a crystal in the center. And then we have some smaller round beads that have crystals in those. And they're very, very lightweight. You can kind of, it's almost like, my cat's trying to get up on my desk. It's almost like it has, I'm trying to figure out how that's put together. It's almost like it had a flap of crystals, like a line of crystals, and then it was just rounded off to make it look like a little ball. It's kind of what it looks like. But those are really pretty too. And they're crystal. It's just a plain crystal bead, or crystal stone that's in there. And then we have some spacer beads. We have these silver ones that are more of just a flat disc. Well, not really flat. They are kind of a wavy disc actually. But they're very thin. And you get 4 of those on the strand. You have some just typical little daisy spacers. Some little silver ones. You get 4 of those on the strand. And then last you get these other type of daisy spacers. And these are silver as well. And you get 6 of those on the strand. I think 2, 4, 6, yeah. So you get 6 of those. So that's the strand that it comes with. So I'm going to put these off to the side. I'm going to save my little crystals that have fallen off of my focal bead. Put that over there. Then move these guys out of the way. So you might see them off to the side. I'll try to keep them off camera so the camera's not trying to focus on that. And then we're going to open up the kit itself and see what's inside of that. So here's our kit again. It's got a cute little sticker on it. That's so cute. And then here is our string, which is kind of funny because this is, I don't know if it's called rattan or rattan silk. I'm not sure which way you say it, but it's a rainbow color of the silk that they use to tie it together, which is kind of funny because I already have probably about, I think 4 meters of this, or 4 feet of these. I don't know. I have a stash of this already. So I'll probably use this and maybe do something similar to like a friendship bracelet, kind of like what I did when I was my daughter's age, early teens. Although my daughter's a little bit older than that now, but so I'll probably do something like that. So open up the package, see what we got inside. I'm excited. Ooh, I see rainbows. I see a hot air balloon. And that holds something very dear in my family. We got some soft flex wire. Usually comes with some crimp tubes and some findings. Alright, and then we get a bead mix. Oh my gosh. Wow, this is a lot. Okay, here's your crimp tubes. We got silver crimp tubes this time. And here's some findings that are in here. Okay, we'll go through that in a second. I'm getting overly excited. Your strands, and then you got 2 bead mixes, and you get purple amethyst, I think is the color. Is it amethyst? Does it tell you? No, it just says purple color. So just purple color. It probably would say here on the front too. Anyways, it's purple color. So you get your little spool of wire to go with it. Then you have your Jesse James Design Elements Double Rainbow kit. And then you also have some extra beads as well, which are, let's see, Rainbow Crystal and Spacer Mix is what it's called. So we'll put these two guys aside first. We're going to look at the strands. Let's move that out of the way too so my camera's not going crazy like it was doing earlier. So this one looks like it is probably a 4mm strand. And it says that it's Crystal Maria, and they are Druck beads. So they're a check glass, and Druck beads are just rounded beads that are 4mm with the hole going through the center. That's what a Druck bead is. And it's Crystal Maria is that color. Then we have, let's see, this looks like it's larger, like a 6mm check glass clear with AB finish fire polish beads. Yep, that's what I thought they were. They were fire polish beads. And these are 6mm. So they do have an AB finish. So every once in a while, I think the camera's picking it up, you might be able to see there's a little bit of a blue flash right there. So every once in a while you can pick up a couple of different colors and everything. That's what the AB finish does. So we got that. So that's the two strands. We'll go through this one next. This is the, what was it again? It was Rainbow Crystal and Spacer Mix. So I'm going to try to get the spacers out first. And these are, they feel like they're maybe clay, maybe. But they're very, very thin little discs. Some of them are thinner than others. So it kind of reminds me of Hishi beads. But it's obviously a very long strand. Very long strand of these guys. So there's quite a bit on this strand. So that's pretty neat. That'll be good for, I'm thinking little kids bracelets on that. To do something with a little kid's bracelet or a little girl's bracelet, like a stretch bracelet or something. And then you have a whole bag of beads in all the different rainbow colors. You've got red, orange, yellow, green. You even got blue and violet. That is pretty neat. That just reminds me of the circus, seeing the rainbow like this. I don't know why. I just keep thinking circus. So that's pretty neat too. So there is that portion of it. Now this is going to take me a second to get this cleaned off my bead mat, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break and do that real quick, and I'll meet you back and we'll open up the last two packages. Okay, so got everything cleaned up. Now we're going to open up the Jesse James Beads, the Design Elements little package for the Double Rainbow kit. This is a custom bead mix made by Jesse James. So we're going to open this guy up and see what all's inside, because it looks pretty neat so far. Alright, so now we're going to go back into me talking here for a minute while I separate everything out. So hopefully that's not a big issue for you. I apologize if it is. If it's not something that you want to hear, you can always just fast forward a little bit. That's not a big deal. So we're just getting everything all situated out. Ooh, these are pretty. Ooh, those are pretty. I like those. And those look like nuggets. Oh, those are different. Long rectangles. I haven't seen those. That's neat. Those are pretty. I like that blue color. Still thinking we might do earrings, but when I was putting up those rondelles from that other bead mix before I cut to this to this one. I started thinking I might just do a memory wire bracelet with those rondelles and make it just a seed bead in between, and then just do a bunch of rainbows. Start with red and end with purple and start over again. So I might do that instead. And if that's the case, that'd be pretty simple, pretty quick and easy for someone to follow along with that pattern. And I'm kind of sort of running out of room. Man, there's a lot of beads in this little thing. This is only my second kit that I have purchased from Softflex. I'm pretty new to their purchasing, or their kits that they offer. And so far I have not been upset. There is a lot of beads in these kits. There is a lot of beads. So you will be definitely not bored for quite some time if you purchase this kit. You'll have plenty to do, plenty to work with. You can make a bunch of small earrings if you wanted to. You can make sets if you wanted to. And I'm almost done. And there's so many beads in this thing. And this is just in this one little Jesse James kit. I mean, this is, wow. This is so cool. This is nice. Alrighty, so we'll start off with the two big ones. These are very faceted crystal beads that have an AB finish to it, because you can see a little bit of the yellow and blue flash. Yep, the camera's, I think, picking that up. And they're pretty large. They are probably, I would say probably about a 10 or a 12. Let's see what it says. Let's see if I can put it in the right spot first. But these look to be pretty big. It is 1, 2, 3. Looks like a 13 millimeter. So a 13 millimeter bead. So that's pretty good size. I'll leave that guy out just in case we need that. So those are your two big ones. Then you've got 6 of these small little guys. They look to be about 8 millimeters or so, but it's very similar to that center bead that we got on the extra bead strand. That is an extra purchase. And it's got the rainbow on it and everything, so that's pretty nifty. I'll go back over here. These are similar to the crystal beads that we have on the extra bead strand as well. There's some crystals in the center, and then it almost looks like it is a bead cap on either side that's just been soldered together to make one little bead. So you've got a rondelle of crystals around the edge, and then you've got 2 bead caps on either side, and it looks like it's been soldered together to make it look like just one bead. So that's pretty neat. You get 4 of those. Here's those blue crystals that I like. I love that color. It's very pretty. It reminds me of the sky, a sky color. And then the hole goes long ways through the oval. You get some, I think they used to be called margarita beads maybe, but they're like a floral bead, and it's like a yellow color or a citrine color, and it's got an AB finish, because one side is more of your finished side, and then this is more of the crystal, so you can see the AB through it. So those are pretty neat. And I love the color. And the hole goes through the center, so right through the center of the bead. So you can use those as spacers if you want to. You got more of your crystal spacers. So these are similar to the ones that we have in the strand. And it's just got crystals around it. You've got some bicones. This looks to be 6 millimeter, maybe 7 millimeter bicones. and they are just a transparent turquoise color. You have some rounded bead caps that can be used on some large beads. Now these bead caps have a little bit of a swirl pattern on the petals on one side, and then on the inside it's just flat. Just a flat silver. You have some larger rondelles, and this is like a powder blue color. It's probably really hard to see up against either my white bead mat, and I don't even think holding it in my hand you can see the color that well, but it's like a powder blue color. But there are larger rondelles. You get 4 of those. You get 6 of these little guys. These are orange, and they look to be rondelle size. They might be rounds. It's kind of far away from my face at the moment, so it's hard to tell if it's a rondelle or a round. But you get 6 of those, the orange color. You get 8 of these, 2, 4, 6, 8. And these are more druck beads. They're a larger size. They look to be an 8mm size, but they're a frosted crystal color. So very good neutral to use. And this reminds me of clouds. You can use that as clouds if you wanted to. Then you've got some normal, just round silver rondelle or spacer beads. So you've got a bunch of those. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of those that came in the package. Then you've got some more little bead caps. And these are very, very thin, but still very useful. And you've got, looks like 8 of those, maybe 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 10. I'm probably missing one somewhere. So either 8 or 10 of those. And then here are these drops. You get some transparent light purple colored drops, and these are faceted on both sides so you can see through it, and your hole is up here at the top. It's up here at the top of the bead. Now you can see it. So that's where your hole is. So these would be very useful in earrings if you wanted to, or you can make it as a pendant as well. Then you've got more drop beads. These are a little bit different in that, well, obviously the color. The color is a crystal AB again, but the hole goes this direction, so it's more of like a briolette drop. So you've got the hole going in this direction rather than up and down like the purple ones did. And you get 4 of those. And here's some more slightly larger rondelles in red. So you get 4 of those. And these are the neat square beads, or rectangle beads. This is a rectangle, not a square, Dina. So you've got 4 of these, and your hole goes down the center. And that's kind of in a lime green color. And then you get 2 nuggets. You got 2 nugget beads that are in a transparent turquoisey blue. And then your hole goes down the center of the nugget. So there's that. So that is the bag for the Jessie James bead mix that came with the kit. So now we can look at these other ones really quick. I'll just move these off to the side. Try to get it to where my camera doesn't have to worry about it too much, and I'll separate those back out in a little bit. And then just getting this apart carefully, because here's our crimp tubes. It always comes with a package of crimp tubes. We've got the sterling silver, 2x2 sterling silver crimp tubes. And give me just 1 second to get this staple out of this bag and put it in the trash so my dog and cats don't get to it. And then here is your findings pack. So it usually comes with some findings to it. Looks like we get a lobster clasp this time. We get 2 pairs of ear wires, and then we get 3 little rainbow charms, as well as our little pendant. And this is Where was this written down? It says teeny tiny Peruvian ceramic hot air balloon. So this holds kind of a nice little spot in my heart, in my family. My grandmother, who I'm actually named after, used to paint when she was still with us, and she had a painting that she had done that I don't believe she actually ended up finishing it, if I remember correctly. I think there is a spot on the painting that she was still working on one of the hot air balloons, but she had a painting that she was doing. She always painted in oils, and it was a painting that had several different hot air balloons in a scene to make it look like somebody was off in the distance watching people launch hot air balloons and everything. So that just holds, a special little place in my heart for that. So this little guy probably will not be going anywhere. It'll probably remain in my personal stash. I don't think I'm going to make something and sell that guy, because I do make my jewelry and sell it. So that one's probably staying with me. Sorry if you wanted to buy something of mine that has that in it. And then we got 3 of these little charms, little rainbow charms. And then on the back side it's just plain gold on the back side. And then you get your ear wires and your lobster clasp there. So that is the kit. That is a lot of beads, a whole lot of beads. So I think what I will actually end up doing is that bracelet. I did say I was going to do earrings in the beginning, but I think I'm going to do a bracelet instead. So I will get everything together, and I'm going to use those crystal beads that I had put up just in the previous clip. And then I'll just get probably some Mayuki 11-0s out. More than likely in just a crystal color. I may use a white color instead. And then I'll get some memory wire out, and then I'll meet you back and I'll show you that quick little tutorial. Alright, so I am back, and I have all my rondelles all spaced out in a rainbow. Who would have guessed that? And the other products that I have out, I have the Mayuki 11-0 seed beads. These are the Ceylon White Pearl color, and if you're interested in the Mayuki number, it is number 528. So if you have that seed bead at home, then you can follow along and do the same thing I'm doing. And I have already cut off my portion of memory wire. I did 3.5 loops of memory wire and cut it off with my memory wire cutters. Definitely use memory wire cutters. Do not use normal cutters on your memory wire. You will ruin them very quickly. So I have 3.5 loops of memory wire there. Got my rondelles. I'm going to use 2 of the smaller of the crystal rondelles that came in the kit. And then as I was using this is actually my second time of doing this. That's why there's a loop sitting here on my memory wire. I did one version of it and decided that I really didn't like it that much, so I'm going to do it a different way. So in doing so, I realized that these silver spacers are actually 2 different sizes. And that's my dog in the background. Sorry, he's itching. I realized that there's 2 different sizes of the spacers. They're the same width, but the thickness of them are slightly different. Let me see if I can hold it up to where you can see it. See how the one on the right is just slightly smaller? It's slightly thinner than the one on the left. So I didn't realize that until after that time, that there are 2 different thicknesses, that's hard to say, of those rondelles. So I'll probably use, I'm going to end up putting rondelles in between some of these, and so I'll need 6 of them, so I'll probably use 3 of one and 3 of the other, or 2 and 2, something like that. And we'll get the bracelet to put together. Now as far as that loop that was here, this part right here, this is how I start and end my memory wire bracelets. I always do a loop at the end. So once we get to the end of this product, the bracelet, then I'll show you how to do this part, and it's the same process. So what we'll do for the first part, and I'll break this up into steps, so if you feel like you already know what you're going to do, or want to skip on to the next step if you know how to do like the loop and things like that, then I'll have it broken up into different steps for you. What we're going to do is a little bit of color blocking. I'm going to add 6 of my red with seed beads in between, then 6 of the orange with seed beads in between, and so on and so forth until I get to the purple. So always start off, or at least I usually do, I always start off with a bigger bead on memory wire at the edge. So this is what I'm talking about. So that's bead number 2 and 3, then 4, then 5, and 6. And I'm going to go ahead and add another seed bead because I know I'm going to need that here in a second. So we're going to start off with the 6 red colors, and then we're going to do 6 orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, and then purple. So after you get those color blocks of 6 colors with 1 seed bead in between, just starting off with the rondelle first, and then every other bead after that's going to have a seed bead in between until you get to your 6th of your purple. Don't add a seed bead after that because we're going to start adding something different. So get those 6 blocks, color blocks on there, and then meet me back and I'll show you step 2. Okay, so now that we have our color blocks on, we've got 6 each of the rondelles of our rainbow color. Now if you went ahead and put a seed bead on that after that last purple one, go ahead and take that one off, or you can leave it, it doesn't matter, because we're going to start with our crystal rondelles next. So we're going to place one of those on, and then we're going to do just 1 round of our, we're just going to add 1 color, 1 of each color of our rainbow rondelles, and then in between we're going to add our silver spacers. So we're starting off with the crystal spacer, and then we start with the red. I'm going to do, how am I going to do this? Because I need 6. So I'm going to do 2 of these. So I can do 2, 2, and 2, or I can do 1 on either side, and then we'll do 4 in the center. Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll do 1 of the thinner after the red, the thinner of the silver rondelles after the red, and then I'll do 4 of the thicker of the silver ones. Well, if I can find the hole to the bead, that would be helpful. There we go. And then we'll do the thicker ones after these guys. And then in between the blue and the purple, we'll put the thinner one again. And then after the purple, we'll put another one of the crystal rondelles. And having problems finding another hole. There it is. And then we'll put one of the crystal rondelles. And then when you get it all situated down at the end, well, everything is getting all wound up on top of each other here. I think I'm making it worse. There we go. Yeah, I'm kind of making it worse. I'm like going all over the place. Okay, now I think I got it. Goodness gracious. Memory wire usage 101. Okay, so now that you have your color blocks done, and then you have 1 round of just single beads, now we're going to go back to the color blocks again. Now this is where you can do it a little bit different if you want. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just doing red all the way to purple again. and do 6 like we did at the very beginning. You can change it up if you wanted to. You can actually start with purple and end up with red, so that way you have red on both ends. You could do it either way, but I'm going to start with red on this side. So we would just start it the same way that we started it on the other end. Just add a red bead, and then your seed beads in between, and do 6 of those until you get to the end. So that's what I'm going to end up doing, and then I will meet you back, and then I'll show you how to do that little curl at the end of your memory wire, and then you'll have a finished bracelet. Okay, so when you've got your 6 or your color blocks of 6 beads again strung on the back end of the memory wire bracelet, you'll have a little bit left over. You'll probably have more than what you'll end up needing. So to kind of gauge how much you're going to need, I'm going to estimate this. I have not measured this out, so hopefully this would work out. But I'm going to use 2 of my fingers, my finger widths, and then I'm going to cut right after that. So that way we have just about, that's about maybe in 2 inches, maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches left over on the memory wire. And then I'll just put that in my little wire storage container. I'm going to move some of these out of the way. I have a feeling this camera is going crazy because there's so many crystals and everything that it's trying to... Ah, that's better. Now you can see it. It's trying to watch and see all these other different colors and everything, so move those out of the way a little bit. And get the seed beads out of the way too. Okay, so to do your loop, and this is the same way that I did the loop on the other side, and the only thing is that I didn't have to cut it, I just started it. So I'm going to use a 6-step bail making pliers, and I'm going to use the smallest step down here, which is the one that's on the left. All you do is you put your wire in between the 2 pliers. Well, grab it first, don't let go with it. And just make sure it is to where you can't feel the wire when you rub your fingers in between. And then grab a hold of it, and then you twist inwards. You can also twist outwards, but sometimes with memory wire I've noticed that if I do it outwards it sometimes breaks. So I try to just do it inwards. And I'm having to put some force onto this. Alright, so you just keep turning around until you meet up to your beads. Sorry about that little abrupt clip there, that break, because I did have a coughing fit and I figured y'all didn't want to hear that. So the 2 fingers widths looks like it's a little bit more because you have a few more of your turns here at the end, but it still looks nice. It still looks pretty. And the most important thing is that the end of your memory wire is sitting here, and it's facing outwards. It's not facing inwards, so you're not going to feel it when excuse me, when you have it on. So after that you have a completed bracelet, memory wire bracelet. I do like making memory wire bracelets. They are fun to make, they're easy, they're just like stringing, but you're using wire, and it can fit on anybody's wrist. So they're very versatile in that way. So I want to say thank you for watching. I appreciate the watch, and don't forget to like and subscribe, so that way I can continue on making more videos for you and more tutorials. And check out some of my other tutorials down below. Have different links to different unboxings. I have other tutorials out there. I also have links to my Etsy shop, where this, as well as some of my other items that I have made, will be on my Etsy shop. So don't forget to stop on by and see that. I also have a list to my website that I will be updating here shortly with, excuse me, with a calendar that has all the different places that I'll be at. So if you live in the Houston area, you can stop on by and see me at one of my events. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!